In 1993, Square mixed an RPG with an action-adventure. They threw out all of the standard menus of an RPG and all of the turn-based elements, and instead focused on real-time combat. They also added the option to play this game with 3 players and made a number of other changes to speed up the gameplay. Square called their new hybrid game Secret of Mana. The game was Square's second attempt to break through in the Western gaming market after their European beginners RPG, Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, failed embarrassingly hard in 1992. When Secret of Mana got released in Europe, Square got the help and full hype treatment from Club Nintendo Extra and other European video game magazines. This helped to push sales and made the game a Super Nintendo classic that can also be found on the SNES Minis games list. Secret of Mana got a sequel. It's called Seiken Densetsu 3, but it never got released outside of Japan. However, there are fan-translated Super Nintendo ROMs of this game floating around on the internet. Let's fast forward to the present day. It's 2018, 25 years after the release of Secret of Mana for the Super Nintendo in 1993, we get a port/remaster for the PlayStation 4. Yikes, I feel old. I missed the initial release of this Secret of Mana remaster, and that's odd because everything that's retro these days gets hyped. So, what's the deal with this game? I did some research and apparently it gets destroyed, it gets ripped apart by the critics. But is it really that bad? Let's find out in this quick Dennis Fleeman review of Secret of Mana, the remake for the PlayStation 4. Let's start this review by getting the elephant out of the room. And for some people that might be the graphics, but I'm starting with the story. Secret of Mana for the PlayStation 4 is a remaster of the Super Nintendo game. In other words, the story is exactly the same. I'm not going to throw some spoilers around here, so let's just say that if you've beaten the Super Nintendo game, you know how the story is going to unfold. Another thing that is exactly the same in this remaster is the music. You can choose between the original soundtrack or the remastered soundtrack. The remastered soundtrack isn't really that great. It isn't terrible either, but if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it, Square. Something that Square did, quote unquote, fix are the controls. Instead of walking up or down and left and right, you can move freely in 360 degrees in this remaster. But that's sadly the only positive thing I have to say about Secret of Mana for the PlayStation 4. The story is still the same, the music is also unaltered if you want it that way, and the controls are improved. But the biggest change and the biggest problem I have with Secret of Mana for the PlayStation 4 are the graphics. Just look at them! I can't stand them! They're piss poor, they look awful. Now, one could argue that I'm a retro gamer and that I just don't like modern graphics, but that's not the case here. These graphics right here are just not PlayStation 4 worthy. I mean, I've seen PlayStation 3 games, hell, I've seen PlayStation 2 games that look way better than this Secret of Mana for the PlayStation 4. These graphics right here are unacceptable. Period. The graphics aren't the only problem I have with this game. Other issues that annoy me are here we go. Incredible stupid AI players that get stuck every time and everywhere. The voice acting is terrible. Characters speak without moving their mouths. Glitches make you get stuck in the game, and the blue screen of death, in other words, the game crashes and leaves you with a blue screen. So yes, YouTubers and retro players, Secret of Mana for the PlayStation 4 is really that bad.